Alright, welcome back. So now we're going to be looking at what happens if we decrease a number by a percentage. And we have the same two methods we had before. You just have to remember that when we're doing decreasing, we have to actually take away the number that we determine at the end. So let's get started with A. We have 70 is decreased by 30%. So let's determine 30% of 70. So this is the same as 30 over 100 multiplied by 70 over 1. Now, you can cancel this fraction by finding the highest common factor between them. For these two, the highest common factor is going to be 10. Divide 100 by 10, I will get 10. Divide 30 by 10, I will get 3. There's no more common factors between them, but I can look diagonally between the 10 and the 70. So I can cancel this by dividing it by 10, I get 1. Dividing this by 10, I get 7. So our answer is going to be 3 over 1 times 7 over 1, which is just going to be 3 times 7, which is equal to 21. So 30% of 70 is equal to 21. Now we're looking to decrease 70 by 30%. So what we need to do is in fact do 100% minus 30%. So essentially 70% of 70 is going to be equal to 70 minus 21. And that is going to be equal to 49. Okay, let's move on. So if we look at B, we have 160 is Alright, if we look at B, we have 160 is decreased by 20%. The other way to do this type of problem is to take 100%, which is our initial starting value, take away the percentage that we are decreasing it by, in this case it's 20%, and then we're left with the value we actually want. So we actually want 80%. So 80% of our initial value is going to be equal to 80 over 100 multiplied by 160 over 1. And now we're going to look at some opportunities to cancel. So obviously we can reduce this fraction here quite significantly. So if we divide it by its highest common factor, so that will be dividing it by 20. So when I divide the top by 20, I will get 4, and divide the bottom by 20, I will get 5. So 4/5 times 160 over 1. Can we find a common factor between 160 and 5? Yes, we can. So divide the bottom by 5 and divide the top by 5 and you'll get 32. So you're left with 4 times 32 will be equal to 80% of 160. So this equals 4 times 32. And 4 times 30 is just going to be 120, and 4 times 2 is going to be 8. So your answer is going to be 128. Alright, let's look at C. So for C, we have 240 is decreased by 25%. Right, so we know it's going down. The easiest way to do this would obviously be the second way, but let's just do 25% of 240. So 25% of 240, that's equal to 25 over 100 times 240 over 1. Again, 25 over 100 can be reduced down to 1 over 4 by dividing the top and the bottom by 25. And then we can reduce this further by finding a common factor between the 4 and the 240. So if I divide that by 4, I will get 1. If I divide 240 by 4, I will get 60. So our answer is 1 over 1 times 60, which is just 60. So that's 25% of 240. Remember that we're taking this away, so 75% of 240 is going to be equal to 240 minus 60, which is equal to 180. Okay, let's look at D. So for D, we have 300 is decreased by 50%. So let's do the percentage first. So if I start out with 100% and I decrease by 50%, I'm taking away 50% from 100% and I'll be left with 50%. Now, the problem changes to determining 50% of 300. and that's equal to 50 over 100 multiplied by 300 over 1. Now 50% or 50 over 100 can be simplified by dividing the top and the bottom by 50. Divide the top by 50, you'll get 1, the bottom by 50, you'll get 2, and so 50% always simplifies to 1 over 2 as a fraction. Again, we can simplify this further, and I can make this 1 divide the top by 2, and I'll get 150. So our answer for 50% of 300 is going to be 150. Alright, lastly before I finish this, I'll just do a couple on our calculator. So you can do the exact same thing with the calculator as you're doing with your calculations. Essentially, you're just taking the percentage that you want and then multiplying it by the quantity. So if we want to reduce our 300 by 50%, what we will do is take 50%, divide it by 100 to get its decimal form, and then multiply by 300 to get our answer. So 50% of 300 is going to be 150. Again, we can also do 240 decreased by 25%. So again, we have to do essentially what calculation we want, what percentage we want. So we want 75%. So we'll do 75 divided by 100, and we'll multiply, we'll hit execute, we'll get our decimal, 0.75, we'll multiply by 240, and it will give us our answer as 75%. Alright? Okay, that's it for this video. Hope it was helpful, and I will see you in the next one.